Welcome back to the To Be Continued podcast. It is such an honor to have you here. I want to say thank you, first of all, for continuing to listen. I had actually asked my followers on my social media sites if they had a story of domestic violence, if they would like to share it. And so I had a few people willing to share, and I am so honored and want to say thank you for trusting me to not only read your story, but to tell your story in first person. Now, I do want to give a trigger warning because these stories do give details, and there is instances of physical violence, emotional, mental, um, gaslighting, isolating, all of that stuff. And so if these are things that may possibly trigger you, I want to encourage you to pause this, take some time, and come back when you're ready. And if that isn't right now, maybe it's not this year, that's okay. I completely understand. If you haven't already, I do encourage you to seek professional help. And if you need information or resources to help you get through what you are experiencing or what you have experienced, please feel free to reach out, whether it's in direct message, email, whatever it may be. Reach out and I will try and help you out as much as possible. With that being said, welcome to episode 1 of the domestic violence series.
I grew up in a violent household. I saw my dad push my mom around. He would always tell me, "You're lucky I don't hit you like my mom hit me." But he did everything he could to intimidate and scare us, even as small kids. He would chase us, back us into walls, scream in our face until we slid down the wall to the floor, and he would yell so hard spit covered our face. Spit has been a trigger for me my entire life. Yelling has been a trigger for me. Someone following me to yell at me, a trigger. My boyfriend shared with me his past, and we quickly developed a trauma bond. I told him my triggers in hopes that it would help us communicate safely. He must have taken it as a clue on how to upset me. Our fighting was unhealthy from the start, but a year in, after we moved in together, he started doing the exact thing my father did. My dad used to say, "Are you going to hit a disabled man?" I had only hit my dad in defense once in my life, and he guilted me for years because he was disabled. My ex wasn't disabled. He was much taller than me, much stronger than me. And when he towered over me and spit while yelling, I went into fight or flight, and I pushed him away. He pushed me so hard, I fell back on a dog crate and bruised 3 ribs. When I went to urgent care to check that they weren't broken, he accompanied me. He stayed in the room the entire time and reminded me quietly that I had pushed him first. This happened more times than I can count, and every time he would scare me to a point where I would go into fight or flight. Sometimes I would flee, sometimes I would fight. And anytime I fought back, he would immediately stop yelling. Spit would stop flying. He would retreat and say, "See, look what you did." He loved turning me into a monster. He would be the monster in my life until I morphed into one too. And then the minute I lost control, he would become calm and collected and remind me how disgusting I am. What a bitch I am. I would forget everything he did to me while I obsessed over my mistake. After I had my daughter and his behaviors didn't stop, I decided she needed a better example than the example that I had, a better example so she wouldn't end up like me. I started finding ways to make money to support us on our own. I also somehow still believed he would change, so I asked him to join me in therapy. One day I came home from a trip and he told me, "One of us will end up dead if we are together." Little did I know he had already started seeing his new trauma bond girlfriend, and I believe he was ready to leave because he had someone new. I'm very thankful for those two immoral people, because that was the final push I needed to get out. Later, I was told that I'm a disgrace to women who have been domestically abused. I guess because I didn't let it progress to more permanent damage to my body. I guess because I fought back. But I'm not. I'm a survivor, and I got out before the generational cycle continued. My daughter and I are happier and healthier than we have ever been. We live in an amazing apartment. We have amazing people in our lives. Times are hard, but nothing compared to going to bed scared in my own home.